Hi, my name's Lauren Pierce, and today I'm going to be demonstrating for you how to check a pulse. Now you may be wondering, why would I ever need to know something like this? Well, whether you're planning on going into the healthcare field or not, knowing how to check a pulse can be really helpful in an emergency situation, or it can help you to identify a personal health condition. In this demonstration video, I will first explain some important things that you should know about your heart rate. Second, I will demonstrate to you how to check a radial pulse on your wrist. And third, I will demonstrate how to check a carotid pulse on your neck. To get started, I would like to share some important things to know before checking a pulse. The purpose behind checking a pulse is to measure the rate or number of times our heart beats per minute. It can also indicate if we have a normal or an abnormal heart rhythm. Today we're going to be focusing on measuring a resting heart rate, which is when you are at rest without strenuous activity or increased stress. According to the American Heart Association, a normal resting heart rate is between 60 and 100 beats per minute. Also, with a normal heart rate, you should feel synchronized pulses that are happening at a continuous and even rate. If the pulses seem erratic or if they're too fast or too slow, then that could be an identifier of a health condition that should be addressed with a healthcare professional. All right, now that you know some basic tips, let's move on to my first demonstration, which is how to check a radial pulse on your wrist. So for step one, we're going to start by placing the fingertips of our pointer and our middle finger on the inner upper part of our wrist towards where the thumb is. We're going to press firmly until you feel a pulse. If you don't feel a pulse right away, just readjust your fingertips until you can feel it strongly. For step two, we're going to begin counting the pulsations that we feel for 15 seconds. For video purposes, I have a timer set on a phone here so that I can count aloud while the timer runs. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay. So my heart rate for that 15 seconds, I got 17 beats. So now for step three, once you've counted the number of beats per 15 seconds, we will then multiply that number by 4. Remember, the tip that I had told you earlier is that the heart rate is calculated in beats per minute. So in order to save time and be more efficient, especially in an emergency situation, we can measure the pulse for 15 seconds and then multiply that by 4 to get our actual heart rate per minute. So for me, since I got 17 beats per minute, we're going to multiply that by 4, which would be 68. Okay, now for the second part of my demonstration, I will show you how to check a carotid pulse, which is located on the neck. So for this method, it's also important because you will often see it in the first steps assessing somebody before CPR is performed. So for step one, we're going to take our fingertips of our pointer and our middle finger again, and we're going to place them on the neck just to the right or left of the windpipe and right below the jawline. So just about here. And you're again going to press firmly until you feel a pulse. If you need to readjust your fingers a little bit, go ahead and do so until you can feel a strong pulse. We're going to then repeat step two and begin counting the pulsations that we feel for 15 seconds. For this step, I'm not going to count aloud because the vibrations when I'm talking will mess up my counting for my beats, but I will set the timer. Okay, so this time I got 16 beats per minute, or for 15 seconds. So we're going to follow step three again. We're going to take that 16 beats, we're going to multiply that number by 4. So for my carotid pulse, I now have 64 beats per minute as my heart rate. Okay, now that I have explained some key points and demonstrated 2 different techniques for how to check a pulse, I hope that you will be able to use this information in the future so that you can be comfortable with these techniques and use them in real life situations. Who knows? Maybe one day you'll be able to save someone or help and save someone's life, or be able to identify a health condition for you or someone that you love in the future. Thanks for watching.